Hey everybody, welcome to SCG Reviews. My name's Will, and today we're going to be taking a look at Power Grid. Power Grid is a Euro-style territory and resource management game for 2 to 6 players. The game is played on a board depicting a rough map of the country of Germany, or you can flip it over to the USA side and be a winner. Each player takes on the role of the head of a rival power company, each trying to supply power to the most cities within the country. In order to do this, you auction off the building rights to various types of power plants represented by these little cards, and then connect as many cities as you can to your power grid, that you can supply power to. As the game progresses through various stages, resources to build more and more efficient power plants become available, but also the cost of expanding out your ever-growing network of cities gets more expensive. Whenever a player gets to the point where they have a certain number of cities in their power grid, they win the game. The first thing you notice when you open up Power Grid and pour out all the contents is just how much stuff there is. You want little house blocks? We got house blocks. You want cubes? We got cubes. You want little cylinders? We got cylinders. You want little octagonal prisms? We got them in 2 different colors. And then of course there's the board, and the fake money, and the power plant cards, your little cheat sheet cards. There's a lot just happening on the table. And the reason that there's all that stuff is because running a power grid is quite complex, as you might imagine. The first thing you have to figure out is what kind of resources you feel like are going to be the easiest to run your power plants. Because power plants don't run for free, they have to burn resources in order to create power. And the resources are coal, oil, uranium, garbage, and then green stuff, wind and solar. The differences between those resources is pretty much efficiency to burn and the cost to get them. I really wish that there was some sort of pollution detriment to running a coal burning plant or a smell problem when you burn garbage, but there's not, and I can understand that. The game's complex enough already. My biggest problem with this game is just how counterintuitive the main mechanics are. See, you build little house icons on cities to represent the presence of your power company there. But those aren't your power plants. Your power plants are just the cards that exist off the board. And the houses really represent, I'm not sure what in the real world. Every single person, when they play Power Grid for the first time, has the same instinct of, oh, I bought this coal-burning power plant, now I'm going to place it in Berlin. And you go, no. The power plant just exists over here, and in order to get to Berlin, you have to pay a completely separate cost for something completely different, which I guess is just the infrastructure or something. It's never really explained, but it is a constant frustration trying to make that work intuitively in your head. Now, the good news is that's really the one major problem with this game. Once you can get past it, or at least come to terms with it, it flows very well. It really splits all the metrics for an enjoyable game experience right down the middle. There's a lot of complexity and thinking, but it's not so cerebral that you lose yourself in it. It's got a lot of hard numbers to crunch, but it's also bright and colorful, and there's a lot of fun components. You've got a recognizable, focused win condition, but you're not hemmed into one specific strategy. Yeah, there are a couple little extra frustrations, like the paper money that comes with it is a little shoddily made and hard to use, and you really do need to read the rulebook carefully to get a lot of the minutia that becomes important later on, but those things you can get past fairly easily. A couple of things that I do love about this game. One, very low randomness factor. The only real random generator is the order in which the power plant cards come off the deck, which is shuffled together, but that's very low impact. Secondly, the power plant auction mechanic is really nice because it gives a little bit of player mind against player mind strategy conflict. That mechanic is mainly important because it keeps the only source of conflict from being the standard Euro map puzzle game of I'm going to this city to block my opponent from going to that city, which gets a little stale after a while. The main thing you need to ask yourself when you're deciding whether to play or even buy Power Grid is, do I like Euro games? Power Grid ranks chief in the firmament of Euro games. I don't know what the best Euro game in the world is, but any list of the top 10 has got to include Power Grid, and it really is dedicated to that label. If you like Euro games, you're going to like this, but if you have a problem with that style of game, this is probably going to frustrate you or even bore you a little bit. I myself am not the hugest fan of Euro games. I was able to get a few run-throughs in of Power Grid before I went, alright, I've gotten out of this what there is to get, give me something with some more explosions now. That being said, if you're more predisposed to an abstract component semi-puzzle game type thing, this could be a staple for years in your house. So that's Power Grid. Thanks so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the review. Go ahead and click below to like and subscribe to us for more great content from Stone Circle Games. And until then, have fun around the table.